I'm gonna tell you all. A lot of you should be ashamed of yourself. It really. This is. I understand when me and Malcolm both get it. Like we really do. We get it when there's people doing bad things. You have to call them out. You have to unequivocally. Like you have
in order to be a good person in this life, you call out bad when you see bad. You call out good when you see good.
But what you don't do, falsely accuse people or point fingers without proof or evidence. You just don't do it. You have to have some basis. Just because somebody says someone did something, now sometimes that means it's real. Like obviously, you don't discount an accusation. But what you do is you wait for evidence and stuff to come out, especially because you're dealing with serious accusations. And finally, I don't know why Dream took this long to explain, but he came out and explained it. And it all made sense to me about the, especially when he's talking about, like, listen, the person's talking about training and wanting to be a professional wrestler.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it made sense to me.
Don't you like attention, though?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, too, is that...
Don't you like those sweet clicks?
And that's the thing now, too. It's coming to light, that this could have been just all for attention.
Who's next?
Exactly. I mean, so you guys should be ashamed. You guys should be ashamed of yourself that sat there and pushed this narrative because, and then you go, Kyle, well, why didn't he come out sooner? Dream was the type of person to live his character in and outside of the ring. He didn't want to come out. It ruins the mystique. But I think that's his downfall, is that he was trying to live the character in and outside the ring. He shouldn't have done that. He should have.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, but now it's bit him, because if he came out right away and said what he said, everybody would have been behind him.
I don't think anyone cared.
No, they did, because when he was accused right away, everybody was waiting for a response, and he didn't give a response. So
that's what I would have done.
He didn't, though. And he didn't say one word.
I would either own up. Well, I'd own up if I did something because I'm not a jerk.
Yeah.
I'm not but if I was innocent, I would either tell people knock it the hell off, or I would just ignore it, because what else are you supposed to do?
Well, if you ignore it, look what happened. I mean, so now look,
if you apologize, look what happens.
No, but he didn't. So,
no, but if you,
but it didn't matter. I'm just saying
that you could do.
Yes, he did. Explain what he. No, explain what he. If he explained what he just did, it would have been. Oh, now he'll never have a career again. You understand?
No one believes Matt Riddle, and he showed document evidence of.
What are you talking about?
Abused.
Matt Riddle leave WWE now. He would get work. Dream won't. Yes, Dream will not, because he waited so long to come out and simply explain it. And WWE's now coming forward saying it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with his backstage, behavior. Okay.
All I'm saying is that Matt Riddle was able to prove his innocence. And when they started firing people, they're like, why didn't you fire Matt Riddle? Why?
As far as it's concerned to me, Dream proved it too.
Don't you like attention?
Well, Dream proved it too. Dream came out and he explained every single why this interaction with the two. Now, people will say, well, Kyle, there's a lot more accusations out there. Well, yeah, but you can't take every person that comes forward. You have to admit at some point some people are coming out for attention. So I'm sorry, folks, if you think every person that's coming out against Dream is legitimate, I mean, this is the problem.
I brought up Matt Riddle for a reason, because he was able to show like hard evidence of telling this woman that she needed to go, that she's been a problem. She's always been harassing the family. And people said no. The only reason she would come forward is because she was really abused.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
And people don't believe him.
And that's the thing is using this logic. Well, someone's only going to come forward if it's legitimate. That's just not true. I'm sorry.
How is Matt Riddle still in the company? Velveteen Dream's not.
Well, and they said no, but they said straight up it had nothing to do with the accusations. WWE's come forward.
And I feel that.
Yeah, and I believe it because it makes sense.
But Rich Swann did something bad, and he's doing really, really well, because it didn't define him as a person. He made a bad judgment. Really bad judgment.
We'll see. I just don't think Dream's gonna have a career. But my point is, everybody out there should be ashamed of themselves for believing and pushing this narrative without any proof at all, just because someone said it. You could, if
And
you just
celebrating
waited,
it.
well, exactly, celebrating. There were so many people online celebrating he got fired. Oh, and it's just sad. It is. It's sad because you're pretty much showing that you don't require evidence. If someone just says someone did something, that's enough for you. That's sad.
Well, it'll cripple the entertainment industry.
Yeah, because you're
absolutely will, because I've seen it in music.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it where he got caught holding hands, and that was abuse because he was using his power.
Yeah,
and the artist was gone.
Yeah,
and then the wrestling, it'll be the same thing.
Well, and that's what's good.
And you're gonna cripple.
I think WWE's gonna have to at this point. I think that they have, and they haven't talked. They get all the wrestlers together and explain, like, you unfortunately you can't. We don't want you DMing fans anymore. We sorry, it's a complete ban. You're not allowed to reach out to fans privately.
Yeah, those days are over.
I think they are. And
if
guess
you
what?
wanted to go in the entertainment industry for things like that, or to be a deviant, it's done. It's done because you're only going to hurt everyone else.
And you know what's sad, you guys? I'll put it this way. It doesn't hurt me and Malcolm because we're going to be able to still go to the bar and we're still going to be able to hang out with these guys. It hurts all of you that haven't had the opportunity because they don't know who you are. They're not gonna be willing to risk having you around because you could be that person to make accusations.
Yeah, like I said, it brings everybody down.
Yeah,
and the worst part about it is real victims. They're the ones that get hurt the most because they experienced it.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that there are people out there
away from them.
Yeah, and there's people out there that are trying to come forward and their voices are muffled because everybody's focusing on non things that don't matter. And this person's trying to call out somebody and they're being flushed out. That's the only way I can explain is they're being flushed away because all this attention's focused on Dream and there was no evidence.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too, and then people go, well, what about the picture? What about that? Again, all of this was explained easily about the training. And if you don't listen to Dream, if you didn't read Dream's response and think, okay, he's innocent, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't, it laid it out. 1, 2, 3, it laid it out.
I think it's upsetting.
Yeah.
We are the types that when we saw the news, we were shocked and thought they really might have done something.
Yeah, I thought, okay, there's a possibility.
So I can say, like, well, he didn't come out with anything, but it was investigated pretty fast.
Yeah.
So they said nothing happened.
Yeah, because
but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as, like, I'm saying, as soon as there's a push, everyone's on that topic.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that,
So I don't think that there's anything you can do other than whatever he did.
I want people to realize too, it's not, we're not saying that, it's 100% concrete that he never, but we're talking about the main accusations. There's just no, I'm sorry. Again, there's no evidence it happened. Sorry, folks. And again, you should be ashamed of yourself. And here's the thing too. I don't understand why this is controversial. No. I don't get it because there's no evidence to suggest anything. You have his response, and that should be the end of it.
It's controversial if people assume that we just didn't believe the victim at first, but we did.
Oh, yeah. No, and I want to make that clear, too. We did. At first, we waited for a response, but then when WWE came forward and said they're going to, okay, we were like, okay, and that's it to us. Because here's the thing. Triple H, if you think Triple H is going to come out and say that about somebody without thoroughly looking into it, he is not pinning his neck out there for anybody.
On behalf of Stephanie,
he's
on
not
behalf of Vince,
everybody. He's not pinning his neck out there.
Yeah.
And you don't know Paul if you think he's going to stick his neck out there to defend people without knowing for sure. He looked at everything, his socials. He scrubbed emails, everything. They didn't just do a little glance.
Yeah,
they made sure.
I was still shocked. I'm still shocked that after they released him, people didn't even care why he was actually released. They just were like, good.
Well, that's because
he's out,
and that's a big problem. I'm sorry, you're not a real fan. If it's that easy, if someone comes forward and accuses somebody and you automatically believe them, just because you're not a real fan, because then you really didn't care about the person at all. You know what's great is that you know how If someone said that about Stone Cold or Undertaker, oh, I don't believe it. It seems, and then you made this point, and Malcolm said, hey, it's a little bit of racism going on.
Yeah.
And I don't like pointing the racism finger. You know me, Malcolm doesn't like either.
Yeah, it made it a little bit easier for them to get rid of them.
It did. Well, it made it a lot easier for other people to point the finger. Oh yeah, there's a black guy, and it just shows people don't want to admit it, but it shows the deep-seated racism in WWE, but our society.
Well, I said the same thing about Rich Swann, because
Yeah.
you know what, Rich Swann, I'm not sure if you're going to watch this, but you're the sweetest guy, and
Yes.
I love chatting with you, and
Yeah,
it was really
he
cool.
treated us really
One of my
nice.
favorite people that I hung out with. And when they released him over the dispute, I understood why. 'Cause
Yes, we get it. We get it. We
yeah.
get it. We totally get it.
We know we've known other wrestlers, same thing. We're like, wow, you know. But you're allowed to change and make yourself better.
Yes, of course.
Unfortunately, society doesn't believe in that for some reason. I don't know.
Well, it's changed. It's changed. You know, like I said, there's some crimes that to me, you'll never earn my respect. But there still are crimes that you can get past and still live a healthy, productive lifestyle. Doesn't mean I'm going to respect you. Doesn't mean I'm going to like you. But you still can live a life.
I do know for a fact there have been people that have been fired for less, and there's also people that have been.
We know people that have
done awful things that have been able to stay.
Yeah, we know. I mean, and that's the thing. We know of several wrestlers who have behaved to us.
Yeah.
Very inappropriately. We're not going to name names, but very inappropriately.
Yeah.
And if we reported that, if we said it right now, those guys would be fired from the company they're in.
Yeah,
They would be both. All three of the guys that I'm talking about right now would be fired instantly for what the behavior they did to me and Malcolm. But we're not going to say it because why? Because we knew at the time it was nothing serious, but other people could interpret it that way.
Yeah, but it definitely
It was inappropriate. It was inappropriate for sure.
When it comes down to who's allowed to stay and who's allowed to go.
Oh yeah,
it really makes me upset when I know the bias there, and I know. Why.
It is.
I know, like that you're a certain somebody.
Well, even my dad said when I said Dream's fired, he even said, "Oh, just good old racism."
Yeah.
My dad automatically thought it was racism because he's like, "Well, I don't understand," because my dad didn't think Dream did it. Right away when the accusations happened, my dad, he said, you know, my dad's old school.
Yeah.
He said, "I just don't think he did it." Right away, you know, He said, I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I just have a feeling. I said, well, I'm going to wait for evidence and stuff. He's like, yeah, I just don't think he did it. He doesn't look like the type of person to do it. He's an eccentric character, so it's easy to target him. And I said, well, this person was talking to him. I don't care.
Well, nothing will change.
No,
in our lifetime, at least. It's a fun game.
But listen, folks, just stop. Just stop. Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with waiting. There's nothing wrong with waiting for evidence. I don't get it. Take the time, especially with a high-profile figure. Take the time and wait for the evidence.
You like attention, don't you?
Even
I keep saying that because
with someone like Jeffrey Epstein, even though he had his prior conviction, I still waited for evidence based on why they arrested him.
I didn't know who the hell the guy was.
Well, I'm just making the point, like, even though this guy had a history, I still waited for the evidence to be presented.
Yeah.
Because you have to. If you just allow mob rule, then anytime someone comes forward, we're going to get this hysteria. And then anytime here's the problem, folks. This is the scenario you create. I'm going to break it down for you. The scenario you create is you, when you're living life and you're doing good and you're building wealth and you finally get going and you're getting good, all it takes is for the elites, the powerful, to notice you're doing good and then you challenging them and then them just have you be accused and you lose everything.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is you're giving power to the most powerful people. That's all you're doing by feeding into this there. So I want you to, next time, folks, that something happens and someone's accused of something and you read it, take a minute and realize if you are going to chastise them without evidence, realize who's you're feeding. You're feeding the most powerful people in the world because those are the people that are benefiting when you toss aside someone that's up and coming and doing well. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And it's sad that we've come to this time where people don't understand that. You're not, all you're doing by her doing Dream is you're just helping the same old people within the company get a bigger paycheck. That's it.
Yeah, because once you're in an established level, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It has to be really bad. It has to be Chris Benoit bad. That's how I take it.
Yeah.
Like, because, definitely there's been so many stories of other people that, oh, well, it's okay because they're this and that. But
And
then
if
if you're an up-and-comer, then...
you think we're the only people to have that happen to us with the three guys we're talking about, there's just no way. There's other people that's happened to that have been treated that way and said those things to us, and they've never talked about it. Or if they have, it's been brushed aside. Why? Because they're established people.
Yeah.
They're established and they're not going nowhere in the business. Well, they would if it got out enough people talked about it. And I don't bring that up to kind of get pity on us, but I'm trying to explain that me and Malcolm didn't even come forward about that.
It's called reality, people.
Because we understood.
Reality.
We understood that it wasn't something to where it hurt us. We weren't mentally broke down over it. But guess what? We knew that if someone else that happened, they could have. Because that's just the way it is. But listen, folks, this is sensitive stuff.
Yeah,
this is serious
definitely.
stuff. But when someone comes out and explains it as equivocally as he did, I mean, you can't read what he said and say you don't. If you say you don't believe him, then I don't know I don't know where we're at. I don't know where we're at, folks. I'm confused because I read it. I go, okay, this explains it perfectly.
Well, it comes down to
people lie.
I don't want to lose my friends over not being on their side.
Yeah, people lie, folks. They lie to gain fame. I'm sorry to tell you this. They lie to get clicks, to get likes, to get clout. And this
they lie for fun too.
Well, exactly. There are people that lie for outright fun, and there are the most evil. People lie to kill people and hurt people, which is like that woman that was texting her boyfriend to end himself, and he did, and she got in trouble. But so there are people that are just evil out there.
Yeah.
So,
hey, I've seen it before too. I've had someone that texted someone saying I was saying a bunch of stuff. That person came over to my house and started tossing me around. And I was trying to figure out, why are you here? What's your problem? And how did it get to this? I don't know what you're doing here. Well, this person said this and that. What? I haven't talked about you ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember that whole situation.
I'm a really nice
I had to
guy.
go over to Malcolm's house and move all his stuff out of there. He had to come live with me because the person lied.
But the person lied literally out of pure nothing.
Yeah.
Evil. Because they were bored and they had nothing better to do and they thought it was fun.
So if you think, if you think that, you go, Kyle, Malcolm are just being stupid. Well, listen, then explain to me why that happened to Malcolm. That Malcolm's lied about. For no reason. Malcolm didn't do anything to anybody.
That was okay, but sometimes you're just chilling and you.
Well, you were okay,
but a confrontation's gonna happen.
You were okay because of the person, but what if that person? What if they hit you harder?
They definitely could have done some stuff. So
yeah, I mean, so just think about this, folks. Your actions online and what you say have real world consequences.
And I'd like to add this: a lot of people thought that it was me.
Yeah,
and they protected the person.
They did.
I was the victim in the whole situation.
Yep.
Why? Because, well, for some reason they liked that person more.
Yeah.
And,
Well, yeah. I mean, so that's the thing is, and I want to.
I just want to establish like pure evil exists.
Yeah, yeah, and I want to end it with this: just because when someone accuses someone of someone, that doesn't mean don't believe them, but that means take it with a grain of salt. Wait for evidence. Talk to them. Try to get both sides. Figure it out. I understand if it's someone related to you or a close friend. I'm talking about if you're talking about a close friend or a relative or something. That's not what I'm talking about.
That's different.
I expect you to stand by your blood and your friends, folks.
Of course, yeah.
But I'm talking about people online. They either don't know, they're celebrities or something like that. You could say, listen, I believe the victim, but I'm going to wait for evidence. You can say that. You can simply say, I believe the victim, I believe their story, but I'm going to wait for evidence for 100% confirmation. That's all you have to say. You don't have to go on this cancel Dream campaign because now you guys look like fools. And there are going to be people out there that still believe it because you just can't admit it. And we've entered this age in society where people can't admit they're wrong. And this is a big problem. It's huge.
Problem.
You have to admit you're wrong. It's just like when I came on and I said, even though Malcolm's like, it's minor, I mentioned about the Page Twitch thing. I came on and admitted I'm wrong, even though no one called me out about it, because when you know you're wrong, admit you're wrong, move on. And I've always lived by that. And I hope you guys take that from this as go like, listen, it's fine to believe the victim. I'm not saying you don't have, but wait for proof.
Rationalize the situation as best as you can.
Exactly. Take some time to look at the whole situation instead of a narrow part of it.
Well, and then I have some advice for up-and-coming superstars. Don't do anything. Don't take pictures of no one. Don't date anyone unless you're 100% established that you're a rational thinking person, because we're beyond the days of casual affairs, I guess. Casual dating, casual fun.
You can't. Yeah, exactly. Because there used
I don't know if Velveteen Dream was even involved with the person. I believe that.
Well, exactly. There used to be a time where you could have casual relationships and no one said it because it was agreed upon, like everybody's fine. But now even that's too risky.
Yeah.
Now even having a casual relationship, you can't do it. So I do suggest the same thing. Yeah. Don't message fans.
So lay low, stay away from
Don't message fans. Yeah. Don't take pictures, nothing.
Because the thing is, it's almost inevitable. It's not a matter of if or when, if you're playing around Snapchat and these dating sites.
If fans come up to you at the airport, just keep walking. I'm sorry, because at this point...
You're just going to have to work hard and ignore all that stuff.
Yeah. And
Triple H did.
Yeah.
There are superstars that played it safe really well. Triple H actually, with China, that was kind of a weird situation, but for the most part, he didn't drink, do drugs, nothing.
Yeah, because he understood the risk. So, but it just is. It's a sensitive topic, you guys. And I don't blame you if you dislike this video, because there's people out there that have, but I hope you guys would give us support with this, because listen, we understand there's legitimate victims out there and we want their stories to come to the surface. We don't want them to be drowned out by false allegations that later will be proved wrong, all because people just couldn't wait.
Well, and like I said, and I'll say it again, it destroys the entertainment industry. So when people start dropping, what's going to be the incentive to even want to go and do this? Because, just because you're a really good person and you play it as good as possible, does that mean that you're the best of the best?
Yeah.
It's hard to really say, because it's like...
We don't know where this is going, folks, but I'll tell you this, it's only going to get worse.